Hello, everyone. We are live today. I go by Jay, and I'm a DevRel engineer at the Midnight Foundation. We have a lot to cover today and a huge lineup with some of our partners, some builders in our ecosystem, and some people from the Build Club. So it's going to be an exciting talk. I am always looking forward to meeting our community members, having them come on stage, and to discuss what are the latest updates on the Midnight Network with our ecosystem partners. So first, today we'll cover our Zealy sprint that recently ended with Kuira Labs. What are the outcomes? I've posted recently in our channel, so you can see what the updates are on our forum on our Discord channel. You can always check our Discord updates there. Then we'll be kicking off the next partner sprint with Via Labs. So I'll introduce them a little bit later and bring them on. Afterwards, we'll be discussing Build Club because we actually wrapped up Build Club last week, gave our final demo day. There is an incredible showcase of different applications. They truly blew my mind, and I hope that you felt the same way experiencing them for yourselves. But if you haven't had a chance to look at those demo days, see what's going on in Build Club, it's a great opportunity to tune in, watch now as they give their demos, and two of the teams that participate in Build Club will be showcasing what they've worked on and discussing their time with everyone else for Build Club. So we'll be discussing that with two teams, which is Shadow Labz. They'll be discussing their application, which is focusing on DAOs, and NightSign, which is an application that is more so focusing on contractual agreements on Midnight. Once we go through the Zealy Quest updates and the Build Club updates, then we'll wrap it up with some community updates. It's an exciting week. There's a lot kicking off this week, so it'll be a good chance for you to get involved. So with that said, let's look at our Kuira updates. So I am going to start sharing my screen, and then you should be able to see my leaderboard in a bit. So let's see this here. So you can always take a look at our most recent updates on our leaderboard by going through our sprints and going through the leaderboard tabs. So as you can see here, these are our final results for everyone who's participating. So if you weren't familiar with the sprint that just wrapped up, Kuira SDK is our mobile SDK. So you can build Android applications and have proving directly on your devices, which is an incredible feat. So we were excited to see it in people's hands, and we saw actually a few of the top builders deploy applications that you can visit, you can check it out, and I linked to their GitHub repos in my announcements. So I want to say major congratulations to everyone who participated. T-1 sec, you won the #1 spot. Yash 2005, you won #2. And as you can see, we have a tie for 3 and 4. So I will be issuing rewards to each one of you. Please reach out to me on Discord so that you can claim your prizes. I already posted the announcements, so you can just click on the announcements to navigate to my profile, send me a message, and I'll follow up with your prizes. So congratulations, you have each won $40 in Claude credits to encourage you to continue to build with Midnight, with your AI models, and to actually see that mobile application come to life. We would like to see it deployed on other networks, hopefully maybe even mainnet one day. So take a look at what the builders have put together. Congratulations again to the winners. Take a look at their repos, provide some feedback, let us know what you think. So congratulations to everyone who participated in this sprint. And now I'd like to get into our next sprint and the one for this week. So with that said, I'd love to bring on our guest, and let's actually bring on Via Labs. Hello.
Hello, Jay. Thank you for having me today.
Nice to see you again. I know we hosted a dev hangout about 2 weeks ago that people can go back, preview, and understand kind of what you're working on, see a live demo of it actually working. But for anyone who didn't get a chance to tune in, can you give us a brief introduction to yourself, Via Labs, and what we'll be focusing on this week, well, these next 2 weeks for our partner sprint?
For sure, for sure. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Cletus, CEO at Via Labs. At Via Labs, we are a cross-chain interoperability infrastructure, and we are live and deployed on 150 blockchains. Just recently, in the past 2 weeks, we were on a show with Jay and Sophie for the Midnight Foundation, and we gave a demo as to what is possible on the Via Labs infrastructure. And so what's really cool is that we just launched on both Cardano and on Midnight, connecting both of those chains to the rest of our 150 chain network. So we're really excited to be showcasing today a Zealy sprint. That's what will happen here is that the developers can go through this, learn about VIA Labs, learn about the infrastructure, and deploy a cross-chain transfer mechanism for sending USDM natively from Cardano to Midnight and back. And what's pretty sweet about it is that we have an opportunity for developers who are building on this to be able to expand and build additional cool dApps that use USDM and all that stuff. So I'll stop there. I don't want to monologue too long, and we can get into the details if you'd like.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for the intro. And I was super excited to see you come on stream, show how this all works, and to realize that we're getting closer and closer to the realization of, mainnet being on the guard and everyone being able to bridge assets over, start engaging on our network. So personally, I loved it. I'm super excited for it. So let's get right into it. Now, as part of this journey of discovering our partners and this Zealy sprint, we guide you through the entire process, from introducing you to the partner, figuring out how to connect with them online, deploying applications, contracts, and really going through a step-by-step process here. So the first thing we have here is to explore VIA Labs. There's a ton of different docs, their main website. Become familiar with the team, see what they're working on. You can see that there's links here that you'll need to click through in order for you to qualify for this one. We have XPs for each one of these. So as you're going through it, you're completing your quests, you earn XP, which adds you to the leaderboard and qualifies you for some prizes, which we'll get to at the end because the prizes for this one are massive. So I encourage you to start re-sharing this, tweet it to your friends, because there's going to be a big prize at the end of this that I'm excited for. So take a look at those docs when you get a chance. Now, the next quest we have over is follow VIA Labs on X. We try to support all of our ecosystem builders, our ecosystem partners. So we want to make sure that you're keeping up to date with them. Follow them on X, keep up to date with all their updates so that you can continue building and pushing your products to the next level. Next, we have an announcement. Would you like to touch on this announcement briefly?
Sure. Yeah, I believe it was posted on August 13th, where VIA Labs went live on mainnet for Cardano and Midnight, connecting those two chains with the rest of our network. And what cross-chain messaging really is developers can send any sort of data between chains. So it's not just tokens. A common misconception is that VIA Labs is a bridge, where that layer underneath the bridge, where people can use our infrastructure to be able to send messages, tokens, where those messages can contain things like RWAs, sports scores, Oracle data, really anything that you could package and put on chain or send to somebody can be sent in a cross-chain message. So we're excited because this is coming live to Midnight. It's live today, and so you'll see this when you go through our docs and start checking things out.
Yeah, and that was a great finding for myself and a learning experience that we went back and forth on together. That you kind of corrected me on, and realizing like there's a lot more here with the messaging system that I kind of overlooked myself. I thought it was just the bridging and that's about it. But thank you for highlighting, that there's these other opportunities, because it wasn't immediately obvious to me, and it's probably not immediately obvious to our developers as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the major things for cross-chain messaging that we're seeing these days is that a grand majority of the messages are liquidity transfers. So it's a common misconception there. Like, for example, I think it's 85% of the cross-chain messages that are sent from chain to chain are stable coins or general USDC type transfers. So that is the bulk of the messages that people do see, for sure.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense with the association. But it's good to know that there's a lot more. Maybe someone will build a dApp and maybe open up that other 20%.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So now let's get into the next one. So if you see this tweet, amplify it. It's a great opportunity for our community to share what we've been working on collectively and what's available on mainnet, since people are joining the community and trying to figure out what they can tinker with right away. Now, if you're going through the process and you say, hey, maybe I have a question, maybe I have something I want to know more about, I encourage you to join the VIA Labs Discord. The team is there, people are funneling in, so it's a good chance if you have a question to raise it directly with the team, or even if you find something that maybe you need to open up an issue for or discuss, the Discord is always a great opportunity. And I'm sure, Cletus is there with his team, willing to help immediately.
Yeah, we have people there 24/7 to be able to help you out. So you can take out a ticket or comment in our general dev chat, and we'll have somebody on that right away for anyone who needs assistance.
Awesome. Now, for the more technical pieces, we've given step-by-step instructions on installing the packages, on running them on specific scripts that you need to run in order for you to complete this process. So I don't want to go too in-depth and go step-by-step in doing this with you. I encourage you all to get in there, start going through the process, give us some feedback about your experience, let us know what works, what doesn't, and let us know how that works. So the first one is setting up USDM cross-chain transfers and fund your wallets. So of course, in order for you to be able to transfer assets, you have to have assets. So the first thing here is funding your wallets and setting up your USDM cross-chain transfers. As I mentioned, we have the information here to install your packages, to get started, some network configurations you'll have to go through, and then other ways to get kind of the funds and go through the entire process. So you can follow this here step by step, and this will get you to actually complete the quest and provide the info that we need. Should I pause there for anything, Cletus?
No, I think that was a great explanation there, and I can kind of cover the next two because they're very related. So after you set up the infrastructure or the packages on your end, what you'll be doing is transferring USDM from Cardano to Midnight, and this is all on testnet right now. It is possible to do this on mainnet too, but just for the sake of the Zealy sprint, we're leaving it on testnet. And you'll find that the instructions are very simple. You'll be doing this in a CLI, so no UI at first. That will come at a later sprint. Where I think this is like Quest 6 and Quest 7 or something, but one is transferring from Cardano to Midnight. Another one is transferring from Midnight back to Cardano.
Yeah, so that's this second one here. This is the transferring from Midnight back to Cardano. So you'll go through the process of getting assets on Cardano, transfer it to Midnight, going from Midnight back to Cardano, and then providing us with some evidence that you've gone through that process so that we can give you the credits, give you the points that you need for this quest. So those are two. The other thing I want to mention is that you can always verify your transactions, and then you have your own Explorer that people can check out. Would you like to kind of expand on that?
Sure. Yeah. So we have a mainnet explorer that anyone can see all of the transactions that are going through the network. So if you're sending transactions, you can just go ahead and click scan.vialabs.tech, switch it over to testnet, and be able to monitor your transaction. Typically for testnet, we see transfer times from Cardano to Midnight and back at about 3 minutes or so. Just based on the confirmation times and the proving of the proofs. So don't worry if your transfer doesn't happen instantaneously. It needs to first be verified before it is relayed over.
That's a good insight as you're going through this, because sometimes you're just waiting for something to happen and you don't know how long you're waiting. So that's a good insight. Thank you for that. So as you're going through your quest, you're starting to actually put things together, you're transferring assets, you want to see, is that actually hitting the network? Is this being done properly? Take a look at the scanner, and that'll be able to pull data on your transaction and verify that you actually did process the transaction. So check that out as you're going through your projects. Now we have a few more to get to, 3 more left, but shipping a USDM payments dApp on Midnight. This is kind of the big one. This is the one we all look forward to. I know, especially on our community side, because they review all of these repos. They go in there, they test it, they play around with it, and see what did the teams actually create. So these particular quests, I am always most excited about, to share what people build, to get people in those repos and testing. So would you like to expand on what you would like to see out of this kind of sprint, this experiment, and people going in here and completing this quest?
Sure. Yeah, so I'd say the big picture here is that we're leaving an open canvas for the developers to build anything that they dream of that uses USDM as a payment method. So we give 4 different examples here. Something could be a private invoice contract, maybe a subscription. If you're escrowing funds and you want to do that privately, you can leverage Midnight's privacy tools while also having USDM as a payments feature. there's many different possibilities, and we're really asking the developers here to get creative for what they go ahead and create. There's no right answer or wrong answer. We just want to see cool products being built, and we will, cool cross-chain products being built, and we'll be able to help you with that along your build process. We do have some requirements here at the bottom. This is just pretty standard type stuff where you got to make sure that it's a real product that is being built, where USDM is the payment asset. And this will parlay into the future quest, but like this right here is the main big quest here that kind of ties everything together that you have done from all of the previous quests. And this is the one that we're really excited about.
Same. I'm always surprised by what comes through the door because I don't have any expectations. So it's great to see the dApps that do come across. And I'm almost always mind blown, that people are able to put this together quickly, get it deployed, and actually submit it to us. So it's been awesome reviewing these repos and these dApps. So once you're done with your dApp, we want to make sure you highlight your stuff, right? There's a lot of devs that work in isolation. We want to, out in the community, sharing your work. So we always include these quests to list your dApp on our awesome dApps repo. If you're not familiar with the repo, take a look at it on our GitHub. It has a ton of different repos from other people within our community, our ecosystem partners that have created core examples that are great for you to reference if you want to understand how do I apply Midnight to AI, to gaming, to healthcare, to all these different verticals, or how do I process a specific type of transaction? Then you can see different examples like that on our awesome dApps. So for the teams that make it through each one of these quests, you get a dApp, you get the approval, send us a PR in awesome dApps. We'd love to host it, to promote you. And then there's a few follow-ups that you'll get after awesome dApps that's triggered automatically with other opportunities for you to promote your content. So definitely share your dApps with us. Let us know, and we'll get it out there in the community. And last but not least, I think a lot of you are putting a decent amount of work into these builds. You're coming up with some cool things, some cool findings, and some great learnings that are useful not only for you, but for everyone else in the community. So we started including these content-based quests where we'd like to see if you want to share, what your work has been, maybe some pain points, maybe even some things you found that worked really well, your overall experience with the quest. We'd love to hear about your build story, about your experience with VIA Labs. What was it like? What did you end up building? So anything from recording a video, writing a post, any sort of content out there that talks about your experience with VIA Labs tech and with this sprint, we'd love to hear it. Provide us a link and we'll give you some credits for that as well. So now that's our Zealy sprint, the one that's kicking off today. It is actually live right now, so you can start scoring. But let me navigate to our leaderboard so that we can go over the prizes. Because this one, once I saw the document this morning, I couldn't believe it, honestly. It is massive. The UI isn't the best for this on Zealy, unfortunately, for me to highlight this. So let me share my screen. I will show you where this is at, because I've seen other kind of participants highlight that it was hard to find. So let me show you here. And I don't know if I should spoil it or you should say it, because this top prize is massive. But if you're looking at the leaderboard, go to the bottom right corner, and then you can see the prizes listed here. So I kind of want you, to announce it.
Yeah,
I think it's a massive
I
prize.
can take it away.
Yeah.
So we really want to support the developers that are building on VIA Labs infrastructure, that are building with Midnight and building with USDM. So because of that, we will be rewarding the top 3 sprint participants with USDM prizes on mainnet. The first grand prize will be $300 in USDM on Midnight mainnet, and a featured example in our VIA Labs developer documentation. Second place will be $200 USDM on Midnight mainnet, and third place will be $100 on Midnight mainnet for USDM. And one of the cool things too is that we want to help support each one of these projects and these developers that are building. And Jay, as you were saying, we don't like seeing developers building in isolation. There's no reason for that. We can, if they don't have a team, we can help them achieve their goals by maybe if they want to connect out with other teams and use their resources for either developer or for BD expansions, we can help you with that. And that's really where we want to solidify ourselves in the ecosystem, is being that cross-chain partner, that infrastructure that people can rely on and that people can count on for more than just infrastructure and technical expertise. So one of the things that we'll be doing is, if you want to have any sort of connection with another team, you want to take your dApp to the next level, contact us and we can help you do that. At the end of the sprint too, so you guys will probably be posting things about content of your building experience. We'd like to help you highlight that as well, so we can post on that on our X page and help you reach a broader audience that way.
Awesome. Thank you for, the prizes. Like I said, when I opened that this morning, I was absolutely shocked. I think it's an amazing prize. I want to thank you and the VIA Labs team, for working with us, for doing this partner sprint, but also for highly rewarding our community. We're always looking for opportunities to reward our community, highlight their work. And I think this is major in my mind. This is the biggest prize we've seen from our Zealy sprints. So share this with your friends, get involved. If you don't really know how to do it yourself and you know someone technical, grab them and say, hey, let's work on this together. Reach out to the community. That's one thing I absolutely love about working at Midnight and the ecosystem partners community in general. There's been times where I see someone who's like, hey, I want to work on a Midnight project. I have no technical experience. And then someone from a country, hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away will reach out and say, hey, I know how to code. I'll be your partner. And we see these relationships start to form in our channels, and it's a wonderful experience. But also want to highlight that we are here for you, right? The community's interested in building with you, interested in looking at your projects. So definitely just wanted to emphasize that. Thanks a lot, Cletus, and for your support.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And one more thing too, I really echo what you just said with, if you're just building in isolation and you want to find a team, that's how VIA Labs came to be. Is that I was working in DeFi. I've just joined random Discords back 4 or 5 years ago, and I found a team, and now we came together and built VIA Labs. Nobody from VIA Labs themselves is within a 500-mile radius of each other. Everyone is all around, scattered around the world, and we make it happen. So have that be a testament to what you can do. You no longer need to work with people that are just right next door. You can work with everybody worldwide, and it's very possible these days, and success is there.
Nice. I love you sharing that story because I didn't actually have that context. So it's great to know, and it's a good thing to share with everyone else, because I don't think people realize that. Some people are like, hey, I just want to join a hackathon, do something quick. They don't realize that you may find your best friend at these things. You might start a company with someone at these things, and there's really no limit to where you can take this.
100%. And it's a great experience through and through, with getting acclimated with different cultures, with meeting different people. And then it's really cool too, meeting up for the first time in person, being like, hey, we've been working together for the past year. It's great to meet you. It's really cool. And it's now possible in this day and age to do something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what the community builds. Again, thank you for coming on here, for sharing these sprints, and for offering amazing prizes. As we go through the sprint, I'll keep you up to date with all the progress from the developers, any cool dApps that come out of here, and we'll highlight it as usual with our prizes or announcements, and we'll keep you up to date. So thank you again, Cletus. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll go on to the other segments for today.
Thanks so much for having me, Jay.
Thank you. Awesome. So we just kicked off our Zealy sprints, right? We went over Kuira Labs, over VIA Labs. Super excited to see what you all come out of this. I think it opens up the door for a lot of opportunities. But let's talk about the builders who have been doing this for a bit, who have gone to our Zealy sprints. They participated. They have been in our Discord. And over time, they've become enrolled in our programs. And whether that's elites, whether that's Build Club, today I want to actually highlight the Build Club teams, because we just wrapped up, as I mentioned last week. They had absolutely amazing demos. Some of them started off just like this, participating in these quests, participating in hackathons that we've kicked off. So it's an amazing opportunity to get started. And I want to highlight the teams that have really pushed this to the next level, that have gone and said, not only do I want to build a dApp on Midnights, but I want to build a business. I want to figure out how can we make money off of these systems? How can we grab users and customers? So with that said, I'd love to introduce Tom, who is kind of my business partner on the Build Club. So Tom, would you give a brief introduction to yourself, Build Club, and a brief recap of this past cohort?
Of course, Jay, with pleasure. And yeah, it is a pleasure running Build Club with you. And hello, I think this is the second time that I've been on the Fireside hang. So yeah, what is Build Club? So as Jay rightly said, we get a lot of our participants and cohort members from the stuff that is happening here in the community, right? So hackathons, education events, Zealy sprints. I'm super excited to see what comes out of the USDM Zealy sprint. I think that is absolutely awesome. Being able to see payments in specific regions, which we might not have as much insight into, and this is really what me personally I find so interesting about Build Club. So before I get too excited about it all, I'll tell you what it is. It's an 8-week course that we run pretty concurrently. We've just finished our second cohort, the first official one. We had a tester one at the start of the year, and then we just finished our second 2-month cohort last week with 2 demo days, which went fantastically. And the purpose of Build Club is to really take teams that have got good ideas, they're motivated, they're hungry, they know the hackathon trail pretty well, and they've actually got an idea, but they want to take it a little bit further. And you want to take it past having an idea or just maybe even a working prototype. It's not essential to have code written to join Build Club. We really judge people more on their attitude and their approach and their kind of grit. A lot of these accelerator and incubator programs are very one size fits all. We try not to be, and we try to kind of have a good relationship with all of the teams as we go. And so we take you through that process over 8 weeks of, okay, who is your ideal character personality? What is the problem you're trying to solve for? What is the solution? How do you turn this into a business? So, go to market, customer acquisition costs, how do we take this from being a really good idea to something which could be sustainable? And I think both of the teams you're about to hear from today are well on their way to doing so, solving real problems. And it's a good problem for me and Jay to have. But we've got people from all over the world who come to Build Club. So I think on the last demo day we had 6 teams, and they were from 5 different continents. So the use cases are varied. So we have a lot for DeFi, healthcare always comes up a lot. We've also got genetically tagging marijuana plants. We've got all sorts, and this is what's really interesting, because neither myself, Jay, or the mentors that we work with on Build Club are subject matter experts in any given specific industry. So I think in the first cohort, we had a team working on legal disputes and resolutions, and I spent an hour speaking to this incredible lawyer about all of the issues with the Idaho bar, and I'm probably getting that wrong because I'm not American. But this prompted me to go and watch the documentary about what inspired this whole application with my girlfriend later that evening. So there's a lot of learnings there for me and Jay. And what we really strive towards is just giving the teams more support, giving them exposure to people at the foundation as well. My role day to day is working with all of our signed partners, whether that's our grant partners, infrastructure partners, investment code, portfolio companies. But what I really enjoy about Build Club is just kind of we're all coming together week on week. Everyone's having different issues or obstacles or thought pieces. And disclaimer, me and Jay might not be able to give you all of the answers, but what I can promise is that we will try our hardest to get them to you or connect you with people that can. So I'm talking a lot. I will stick the link for the next cohort of Build Club into the chat. We're looking at kicking off middle to the end of September. We're just taking a second now after last week. I want to make some changes with Jay to how we're administering the course, because we're always looking for feedback ourselves. But if you know anybody, yourself, friends, family, that are building with privacy-centric technology, I know this is all very geared towards Midnight, but it's not a prerequisite for coming to build with us. You know, I really do not see Midnight as a competitor to your Ethereums, your bases, or your tempos. We're a privacy layer on top. So, you know, we had a great team from Solana on the last cohort coming, and they built their game on Solana, and they said, Tom, is that an issue? I said, no, it's good. You know, 2 of the teams that we're about to hear from now came from XRP, and solving problems that they've experienced over there. So we welcome everybody. It's a nice environment. I have a lot of fun doing it, and I think Jay does as well. And yeah, we've got a great team to support. So apply. We will get back to you. And yeah, I think I don't know if I should drop my Discord handle in here. I am on Discord if anyone wants to message me about anything. I think I'm Tom Midnight. So yeah, Jay, I'll pass it back to you.
Awesome. Thanks. I think you highlighted a few different points that is great about Build Club. It's one, the community. Awesome. Everyone's always helping each other out, giving code reviews, you know, without even asking. They're just like, hey, I drop a repo. Someone's already offering a code review and kind of going through it and like saying, hey, I noticed this, I noticed that. So community is absolutely amazing. Definitely been blown away by the experience there. The ideas are incredible. I think we're getting better and better at pointing people in the right direction and saying like, hey, given the features we have available, these are the things that we think could work. And seeing people run off and getting closer and closer to applications that they can go from idea to potentially even mainnet, you know, as fast as possible. And the tooling is getting better and better. And one thing I wanted to mention is that like you're on the BD team, but at the last hackathon, you were hacking away more than some of the hackers there. Like I remember being with you at like midnight and we were the last ones there wrapping up. And I just wanted to bring that up because you're not a developer yourself, but even you've gone through this experience of using our tools, of building and seeing how far you can get, to the extent that you were playing around with experimental repos and features that like most of the public doesn't even know about, and you don't have the technical background. So I definitely wanted to emphasize that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I've entered a lot of hackathons in the past as a non-technical founder, and it's always really scared me. I've always had a dev with me, and I'd be the guy that rolls out the slide deck at the end, kind of thing, and you kind of feel half involved, you know, not really. But no, it was a lot of fun the other week, and I think what it really kind of made me appreciate is that people are here to help. And I mean, we had like sort of Jay on deck, Faku from Midnames as well, giving super insightful bits of just like guidance and, you know, going down the journey of, I mean, yes, I work in the partnerships team, but we're here to be evangelists for Midnight and the technology, and it's a great opportunity to learn more about it. And I think that, yeah, I mean, Jay hacks a lot. I'm just getting into it, but I think that if we're here trying to help teams, I want to be as in the trenches as everybody else, to be honest with you. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Not a lot of sleep happened that night, and it was a really good weekend. I enjoyed myself. But that is also a very good point, to be fair, Jay, is that, you know, the tools are there to help you to build on top of Midnight as well. You know, Midnight Expert, obviously Claude now just helps everything. So what, you know, 18 months ago, asking somebody to build on Midnight with, you know, a new language, UTXO models, you know, a token and a resource model as well, which is very new as well, sounds quite scary. I think 18 months down the line, just we have tools there now which allow accessibility for plebs such as myself to bash keys on a laptop, and something kind of ends up happening after a while. So yeah, awesome, really good fun.
Yeah, and the last piece I wanted to touch on was this idea that this cohort in particular, we saw teams from a lot of different ecosystems. And we've been working with the framework, with EffectStream, and playing around with it on our own, creating templates and teasing out these examples. So it was incredible to see people come with deep expertise in these other ecosystems, come to our network, realize that they could build something that interacts with both networks. And for me, it's been a lot of learning that I have to do about these other networks, about how they function, what are their limitations, and what can we actually do here. So I just want to emphasize that as well, is that if you're building on other networks, we already have the tools for you to go cross-chain, make these applications. So definitely check that out, and the doors are wide open. So with that said, I'd love to bring on our first team, NightSign, who we've been working with tremendously over the past few weeks, who's been participating in Build Club. They gave their demo day, which was absolutely excellent. I'm a huge fan of this team in particular. I mean, I love all the teams that are in Build Club, but this team did an amazing job. I think you really nailed down the business side, your product. But before I go off ranting about your product, I want to hear it from you guys. So if you can, let's go Harley, Corey, Alex, then Dennis. That's kind of how I see you on my screen. If you want to give a brief intro, then we can get right into your demo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and kick it off. My name is Harley Hermanson. I'm from the States. I've been in the Web3 industry for a while. I've worked in business development for software development companies. And for us, I mean, it really started off with the hackathon. We started with the Midnight Hackathon. We really liked the network. We saw a lot of opportunity to build with rational privacy in mind. And from there, I mean, there's a lot of different options you can go on Midnight, whether you want to go as an ambassador, you want to go with the elite fellowship, or you want to go ahead and start building out a business and getting more structure for developers. But I'll go ahead and pass it on to Dennis so he can introduce himself as well.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm Dennis Sorelli. I've been part of Midnight Build Club, working with my cohorts from the XRPL here. My background isn't really tech. I'm just like a builder, like a jack of all trades, actual physical building. But I have over, running my own businesses, done websites, and I have dabbled in hacking a few, jailbreaking some devices and stuff like that back in the day. So I wasn't shy to it, but I'm a newer builder since like the beginning of last year or so with all the new AI tools. And I've just like really put my head down. Like I'm basically doing it like 12 hours a day nonstop. Like I'm totally addicted to it now. And I'm really excited to be building with network and learning everything. All the programs from Build Club to Elite to have been really beneficial to me, like just not only as like learning new skills as a web developer, but just with like running a business, like good people skills, social skills when you're like trying to get investors, like all these elements that as an entrepreneur, I've really benefited from the Build Club outside of like any kind of tech support side of it all. Just really good organization. It's really inspiring to see a young network just be so organized with bringing new people and inspiring other builders to partake in it. Because as a new builder with other networks that I've been a part of, I can't say the same thing. So I really appreciate everything that the Midnight Network and Charles has been offering. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Really appreciate the kind words. And love you shared your experience that you don't have the technical background. And we emphasize this kind of like twice on this call. But I want to get more people who are, builders of different kinds. If you're a creative of any kind, there's an opportunity for you to build something with us. So if you find that you're a tinkerer, you're a creator, even if you don't have the development skills, join us. We can definitely provide you with all the support, tech, and everything you need. So now let's go with Corey or Alex.
Yeah, I'll go. Hey, everyone. Corey Dabrowski. And don't let Dennis fool you. He's an amazing builder. The guy he seems like he's been building forever. But anyway, Corey Dabrowski. I've got 20 some years in the IT industry, ranging from, servers to development to security. Spending the last 2 years primarily working in the Web3 environment. Met these guys in the XRPL. We all come from different walks or different projects within the XRPL. So that was one of the things that was, good, was starting to work with other developers and builders within our ecosystem. And getting to work with, learn different things, et cetera. One of the big things that I picked up from the Build Club was, a lot of the things that Dennis said, but was also that, I've always been, when I've been deving, I've been a solo dev. I think this goes for a lot of us, where we've learned to work as a team within, developing a app, a project, et cetera. So yeah, very, very grateful for the opportunity. As well as the Build Club. I'm participating in some of the other things, Elite, And yeah, there's just so many opportunities within the Midnight ecosystem. And like you all were saying, you don't even have to be a builder, right? There are many avenues for you just to be a, quote unquote cheerleader of the privacy network at Midnight, right? And so, yeah, no, that's it from me. I'll pass it on to Alex.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Alex Hernandez. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So my background is mainly probably, I would say, more finance, real estate, just a straight salesman, gritty. But I'm a jack of all trades. So I grew up around technology my whole life. My dad was a computer networking engineer for the Highway Department of New Mexico. So, my first toys were computers. So I kind of built them when I was young. But this was kind of like second nature to me. But I'm more of an architect. So I can kind of see things and build things out. That's what we've been doing. So we work on pretty much all the blockchains. Me and Corey, me and Dennis mostly, we tend to dabble around inside of, everywhere we go. So Solana, Ethereum, Robinhood, you name it. We have it all built out. So we're just kind of playing around. But we love the Midnight Network. It's been fun. I like the security aspect of it because that's where I think we're heading with privacy, especially with all these flock cameras and everything that's going on in the world today. So I think this is going to be the future. So I'm excited, and I love what Midnight has. Charles is awesome. The whole team is awesome. Jay, Thomas, everybody's been great. You guys are going to love it. I was a little skeptical in the beginning, but it was just after the first week, everything was great. It was awesome. Like, it just opened up my eyes into a whole bunch of new possibilities. So anybody that's coming in, welcome. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. And I want to bring up this comment that I see here. And they wrote, LOL, XRP Army in the Midnight chat? Interesting. What is this world coming to? So with that said, I think that's a good way to segue into your product, to show a demo of what you built, coming from this XRP background and what you explored and what you've deployed. So
by the way,
take it away.
I want to also send a shout out to Stephanie for bringing us together, because she's the one that brought us here.
Nice, awesome. We'll have her on soon, but yeah, thanks for calling her out as well.
What our product is, and the guys can help, and I'm going to share, I got my screen set up to share here, is we came up with NightSign. What NightSign is you can think of it as, I wouldn't say competition, but it's like an e-sign. It competes with some of the e-sign tools, such as DocuSign and some of the others. Where ours differs is that with NightSign, we're not. You don't have to upload the document into the cloud. You're not exposing your document or the information into another risk atmosphere with the cloud storage, etc. So, Harley, Dennis, Alex, anything to add on that before I get in?
No, that sounds good. So,
all right. So we're just going to walk you through a little bit here. Go ahead, Harley. What was that?
No, keep at it. You're doing great.
All right. So what you can see here is the the front page, proof without exposure. The whole record stays private and only the proof comes out. So what that means is, basically you're going to upload, let me get back here. So instead of you uploading the document into a shared storage space, a cloud server, etc., you're just going to upload the document. I shouldn't say upload. You're going to, you're going to put the document through, NightSign, and it's going to create a, signature, right? And so, let me walk through here. So, basically it's going to be 4 steps, how it works. Prepare what matters. The file stays on your device. NightSign's only ever going to see the fingerprint of the device. It compounds from the exact bytes of the document. So there's receipt points to the precise version, nothing else. So if you upload a document that has specific numbers in it, you send that. Somebody tries signing a document that has some numbers changed, the receipt will definitely catch that. Once you upload the document, You send it private review, you send the person, it will give you a link, right? And so you're going to take this link and then you send that link to the person that you want to, quote unquote, sign the document. The recipient reviews the document, confirms that the one item you asked them to acknowledge, such as, let's just say we're signing a new agreement for some services. I'm going to build Jay a website, right? And I'm going to charge him this amount, and we're going to have this. He's going to review the document and confirm that, all the, terms and agreement line up, everything is good. And then Jay's going to sign the document as well within here. The result then is stored out on the, here's where the guys can come in. The result then is stored so that at any point, right, somebody can then come back out to NightSign and upload this document, say, was this document ever, who signed it, was this signed, and whatever then the, whatever we decide, or within that document they decide to release, right? So you're not going to have to expose everything as well. I'm starting to kind of word salad here. So
essentially, you can go ahead and verify it with the local proof. So that way it only selectively discloses what needs to be disclosed to who it needs to be disclosed.
There we go. There we go. So next tab here, this is just and again, we this isn't 100% production. We're still finalizing a few things based off of our Build Club presentation. One of the directions that Charles pointed us to that was very good was to create this more for, look into the agent side of things, right? How can this be applicable where agents can use this, signing agreements between each other, whereas, we're not just looking for the human interaction as well. And that kind of was like, ding, 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 right? We're all moving to an agent economy. Everything is agentic. Midnight City is going there, right? So that's kind of where one of the things we're pivoting to and going around. But again, here's just a kind of an example of like the dashboard that you would get, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. You'd come in, you'd prepare a document, upload your document, get it ready. You can come out here and create, we're calling them packets, but like if you have a set, contract agreement, something that you're, repeatable that you send out, like, I'm a leasing apartment complex and I have the same lease agreement that I send out, right? You can come out here and create your customized packets, etc. So
you can essentially think of the packet as a template, so that if it's a document that you're sending to many clients or customers, you would be able to easily utilize it in the packets.
Yeah, we're going to have eventually different templates set up inside of here, so it'll be easier for you to just kind of go in there and customize it a la carte, So once that's done, then you'll be able to, there's a PDF actual editor inside of there, so you'll also be able to edit any kind of PDFs or files or anything like that. We're also incorporating something to do with photography and metadata as well, so you can verify metadata in there as well. That's something that's kind of new that I kind of introduced last week, so we're not really talking about that. It's not in there yet. But I think that's where we're heading, especially in the future with video and photography and stuff like that. A lot of people are wondering whether something is real or fake, right? So this is going to help out with that as well, because now it's going to actually incorporate some type of verified hash inside in the blockchain, where people can actually go back and verify this with a receipt. So that's also something that we're going to be incorporating as well. It's kind of like a CAPTCHA, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with CAPTCHA. So there's another product that we were working on called ZK CAPTCHA that was going to be on blockchain to verify wallets. So we incorporate that as well inside of NightSign. So that's going to be also incorporated as well. So we're going to have a couple of other engines that are going to be attached to it. So, but for now, this is the UI that we're working with for where Corey was at before. That was your, that's just your dashboard. So another thing that's going to be incorporated in there is something similar to, it's going to be like for photographers and content creators and stuff like that, where you can enter all your information. So if you go down to your profile, it's kind of like a I can't think of the word, not LinkedIn, but what's that? Linktree. So it's basically kind of like a link tree inside of here. So it's going to generate you a QR code. So you're going to be able to enter your information and all of your business information, your contacts, your links, your Instagrams, all your websites are going to be incorporated into there. It's going to generate a QR code. Eventually, you're going to be able to purchase a sticker pack that's going to have an embedded QR code inside of there. Also with what's that other technology? The technology that people use to tap it. That technology, so you'll be able to use that, and it's also going to detect your location, so which is good for a lot of this stuff that we're going to be incorporating inside of there for geotagging. So, but that's also selective. So all these things are going to be selective because that's what we're doing, is selective disclosure. So it's up to you, and you're going to be able to tab it, click it on and off, or add it if you need to. So it's going to be pretty much customizable. So
awesome. No, thank you for all the explanations. It was really cool to see how you integrated ZK Capture, because I realized that right away. I was like, oh, I remember he was working on that as a side project, but implementing that as a feature here is a great idea. So really cool to see the progress that you're making. I agree. Like, people are talking about Midnight City right now. I am super excited to see what that even means for agents to be able to like write contracts and form them with each other, and like what are the implications there, what are they going to do, right? And then when you talk about the photo piece, it made me think, like, I know people who work in insurance adjusting, and that's somewhere where like the photos are kind of going along with contractual agreements, which like now I get that piece. So great feature addition. I love where you are going with it. But we are a bit short of time, so unfortunately I do have to wrap up this section. If you are interested in NightSign, definitely check out on our Discord. You can reach out to them. The entire team is there. If you have any links that you would like for us to share at the ending, you can drop it either in the private channel, or you can also share it on YouTube, and we'll get that out to the community as well. For anyone interesting, you could also tag me in our like dev chat or our general chats. If I see it and you want to know more about NightSign, I'll make sure I'll put you in touch with the team. So with that said, I want to thank you all for joining us on this stream. And we'll move on to our next team. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now, this next team, as I mentioned earlier in the call, they've been working on DAO-related tools. So let's bring them right up, and let's introduce Stephanie and Mr. Paranormal, Anthony. I'd love for you to give a brief intro, talk about your experience with Build Club, and then we'll get into your demo.
Sounds good. Did you want to start off, Island?
Can you
Or
guys
Stephanie?
hear me?
I can hear
I
her.
cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't. She can't hear us. Okay. Did you want to go ahead and start, or do you want me to go ahead and take over? I guess well, I'll just go
Give me
ahead.
a thumbs up. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie. I can't hear anything, so I'm just winging this because that's what we do. I started with Midnight about 3 years ago when my identity was stolen. I had an identity theft issue that was a big cybersecurity. My whole island that I was living on, which is why Island Ghost came up into play, the whole island was under a cybersecurity attack, and the banks couldn't do anything about it. And so I decided I wanted to become my own bank. I learned about crypto, I learned about XRP, and then we learned that there was a major privacy problem. And I started following Charles and learning about Midnight. And I didn't know I was learning about Midnight when I was learning about Midnight, when Charles was kind of introducing it to us. And then when he did introduce it to us, they announced to anybody that wanted to sign up for the DevNet, and they were picking people. So I threw my name in the hat, and I got chosen to be part of this because of my story, not because I was the best developer on the planet, but because I came in this with a passion to learn privacy and ZKPs. So with that, that's my story, and I've been with Midnight now for 3 years, and I love the Build Club. I'm part of the fellowship. I think if there's a program out there, I have done it, at least to say that I've tried it, and that's about it. All right, thanks for everything. I'm going to get a little closer to the camera, but I'm going to let Anthony go, and thank you guys for having us on. It's been a journey. Build Club has been a journey. It's been an amazing journey. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Like Island mentioned, my name is Anthony. We've been partners for around 6 years now. We met in the XRP community through a meme coin. One thing that stood out for me was that she was extremely active. She was networking with people, and just from the outside, you're looking at her, you're like, she seems like an older woman who doesn't know what she's talking about, but she does. She's proven herself right multiple occasions, and ever since, she's been a great friend, and I'm happy that she's joined me on this journey. Um, you know once we got into build club, we came in with a ton of different ideas. We didn't really know what we were going to do, uh, and build club kind of helped us narrow it down to, like, what we really wanted to build. And what we came out of build club is something that we're super proud of. It's a There's a lot of issues going on with communities in the XRPL where they don't really have a voice, and that's kind of where this tool came from. And Midnight gave us the power to be able to do that with some of its cross chain abilities, the ZKPs. We were able to bring private voting to XRPL, and that's something that we're actually really excited about. Just from like our first community that we came from, they don't really have any leaders or anything like that. So it's a good tool to CTO. And did you want me to go ahead and just lean into that already, Jay? Go ahead and
Yeah,
just.
so just to recap, because it seems like some people had trouble hearing, but Island Ghost came from this experience of having their identity stolen, of realizing that she could become her own bank, and getting involved in blockchains and Web3 development in general. So it's great to hear that you two partnered, met through the XRP community. And earlier we had someone ask, why is the XRP community here? What are they doing? So your application in particular addresses this exact point, right? Like, what can you do on XRP with Midnight, and what can you do on Midnight while using the XRP assets? So with that said, I'd love to hand it over to you, Anthony, and let's see how it goes.
For sure, for sure. So this is Shadow Labs, where you can see, and right now you're looking at our DAO page where we've already had a bunch of people come in, create DAOs, and start bringing management to their communities. And a big shout out to the Huskies. They're from the Cardano side, and they've done a ton of help. And I just wanted to, just give them their flowers. But so when you come in, you connect with your wallet. Let me go ahead and just disconnect real quick. You come in, you connect in your wallet. You'll see that we already support Xamin, which is the XRPL wallet, so people could come in. And but I'm gonna be using Lace wallet for this. Let me just get it connected. I have a strange bug real quick. All right, once you get in, you'll be brought to your dashboard, which your dashboard gives you tons of information, and that we're constantly updating. Here, you scroll down a bit, you'll see all the DAOs that you have joined and created. So for this demonstration, I created a DAO. That way we don't have to wait because it does take a minute to deploy the contract. So just to save a bit of time, but I'll walk you through the process. You come into that button where it says new DAO. There's even one in the dashboard. And we give you this form to fill out. Essentially the basic information, the name of your DAO, your description. You'll be able to add your Discord, your website, GitHub, all the important links that your community will need to, connect with you. Also, you'll be able to have the option if it's public or private. If it's private, it won't be listed on the DAO list as you saw earlier, but it will become invite only. So I already created a DAO when we were waiting called the Animal Shelter. Essentially, it's going to be a charity for animal shelters. This is just one example. One of our killer features here is the Discord bot, which I'll jump in here in a second, which is one of the biggest complaints that we saw with DAO communities is that low participation. I think some of them were saying that their best proposals or the most active was up to 10%, and we're really trying to help actually double that. And we're hoping that this Discord bot really helps out because, for one, you don't have to jump into a different site, sign up, and to cast a vote. You could do all that from your Discord. But just to demonstrate it, I'm gonna go ahead and create proposal that we will be able to view in a Discord. But let me just lightly brief over some of this. Some of the features that are coming out the gate that a lot of communities are asking for are token and NFT gates. Um, so if you want to join this particular DAO, say the Huskies, and they want you to do, you must have their token, and their token is also going to be counted as a weighted token as well. That's if they wanted to, or if you wanted to set that up. So you can imagine you have a DAO, you have an NFT you have an NFT collection. You're trying to figure out a use case. This is the perfect use case for you and your community. They could come in, you could gate it for the NFT. That way, they would have to own that, and then they would be more active. And when it comes to voting. So we're offering more. We're at admins only for proposals, all members, token and equal voting. We're going to jump into proposal real quick. Create a proposal with just something bland.
And I love that you thought about all these little customization features, whether it's public, whether it's not, like it's
Oh,
really awesome.
a lot of these features were some features I really wanted, but most of them came up for like just an hour or 4 hour proposal periods. That was definitely feedback from the Huskies, and they were just so helpful. So we're going to go ahead and activate this proposal, get it ready, and I'll be jumping over to the Discord, which we'll be using Islands Discord, so I can showcase the Discord bot. And we are adding more features. There's a couple of features I wanted to discuss with you, Jay, whenever you have time, on how we can, we're still looking for a potential business model when it comes to this. Let me see.
Yeah, so we did discuss a few, but there's always opportunities to, go through it, kind of figure out what's the best one for your business, test it out with your users, maybe ask some Huskies, right? What do they think? What are they willing to pay for this? So we'll figure it out together.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Let me see. Now let me go back to my dashboard. All right. So when you are inviting the Discord bot, you just click this link right here. It will take you to a Discord page where you'll be able to invite it to your server. Once it's in your server, you're going to get this command, which we set up for you. So I'm just going to copy it. This one's already connected to a different DAO, so I'm just going to disconnect it. I'm going to use the setup command that I copied. And once you just paste that, then you're connected. Oh, I'm not even sharing the screen. All right, so I had disconnected the command right here, and I just copy and pasted that setup command from your dashboard into here. So now the DAO is connected to the DAO animal shelter, and you saw the proposal I created earlier about creating a budget. So we'll go ahead and do our proposal command. And there you have it. You have the DAO proposals are now within your Discord, so now your community does not have to go. And I'll even take it a step further. They could even vote from here. So we're going to do the /vote. Here you'll go in and just copy your proposal ID. You'll paste it in, and then you just decide yes, no, or abstain. And I'm going to say we're going to vote for yes. And there it has it. And some of you may now, for a bit of technical technical information. Essentially, this is still getting ZK'd. The Discord bot is just sending that information to our proof server that we have running up. So if you don't have one, we do have one running, as well as a dust generator, which will help sponsor most of the transactions for the application. But that's pretty much a general gist of it, of what we have. We are working on other features, such as some of the crowdfunding mechanisms that we were working on, which Jay kind of has the idea of. We want to bring those back to help fund treasuries. And I do have some other ideas, but just not yet ready to show it. But that's the pretty much the general package. And people can go now and actually start creating DAOs and stuff. Did you want me to drop a link?
You can post it in our private channel, and then we'll get it out to the audience as soon as possible. But I absolutely loved this demo that you just gave, because we have a lot of conversations, but you're constantly updating it. So seeing the newest, the latest and greatest is amazing, and being able to actually go through your Discord channel, and interact with the actual DAOs immediately right away with /commands. That was awesome. Even connecting my wallet that I had pre-existing was pretty awesome in the earlier tests. So that was cool. But this was, to me, it's a really magical moment. And I want to highlight what Johnny here in the comments is saying, is that for those who don't know, Steph's dream for XRP and Midnight is exactly this for the past few years. Is Steph, who's the CEO of Shadow Labz, has been talking about how can we give XRP community new opportunities, whether it's in other networks or, expanding the ecosystem, the partnerships, the relationships. So this was a massive effort from Stephanie for several years to try to see what are the possibilities, what solutions can we build, And finally, I feel like the tech has arrived at where Stephanie's mind has been all these years. Is she knew where this was going. Now we have the tech to do it, and now we have a product. So it's live. It's fascinating. It's been an amazing journey. Thank you, Steph, for introducing us to the XRP community, for getting other people involved, for making them realize that we can do these things, these cross-chain communications, have them settle. And now we have live dApps, right, that are actually doing it. So if you're from the XRP community and you want to form a DAO, you already have some sort of community on XRP, bring them over. Let's start testing this out. Let's see what we can do with these DAOs and what are the implications when your votes are private, your proposals can be voted on privately. You don't have these weird pressure moments or people trying to like garner votes from all these other people, you know, for these things. You can keep your votes private. So I think it's been amazing working with you, seeing your development, seeing the ideas come to life from, you know, just like a concept of I want to connect XRP to Midnight, and watching it all come together has been an amazing experience. So thank you all, you know, for joining us, for being part of the Build Club, and for really pushing the boundaries of what's possible here. Because these tools, a lot of them didn't exist before you got here. You were kind of messing around with the core tools, building out these relationships, talking to people, and even the community part, reaching out to Hoskies, awesome job, you know, getting them involved in this process. Just incredible work all around, super proud of this team. But that is towards the end of our Dev Hangout. We went a little bit over, so I just want to give you a chance to say any last things that you want with the community before I make a quick wrap up. So Steph, let's start with you.
Can you guys hear me? Can I say thank you? Sorry, I'm trying to mute it. I have no sound, but I appreciate I got to hear the lag, the beautiful words. You guys are so amazing. Thank you everything for the kind words today. And this has been a dream come true. And I'm really surprised Anthony didn't show you how well the XRP wallet worked with that dApp, because it actually worked better with the XRP and the Midnight work so well together that it's magical. Like you said, he's got the proof server working. You don't even need to know about the dust. Magic. But thanks for everything, guys. I appreciate everything. And this was my first Fireside after 3 years. I finally worked up the nerve to do it. And that was because my XRP community was here with me. Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I just wrap it up, right? Well, again, thank you, Jay and Tom. Honestly, y'all both have been probably the biggest influence on this project. And honestly, just it was awesome. Y'all felt like brothers to me. And y'all just helped me, you know, push this product even further than I ever thought I could. And I'm super proud of it. Stephanie, thank you for joining me on this journey. It's been great. And let's just see how far we could take this, you know. I'm super excited. And to anyone listening who wants to CTO their community, you know, this is the perfect tool for you. And I hope you use it. And, you know, just to bring power back to the communities. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Anthony, and I absolutely loved your project again. And the other last piece I want to highlight here is that typically people come on, give demos, and they have to explain what is dust, what is night. You had to do the opposite. You're like, hey, a lot of stuff is happening under the hood. You don't have to worry about it. There's like these 3 or 4 things that are happening, but the fact that like the user wasn't even exposed to that piece is a massive win. And the fact that you have to explain that these pieces even exist in the background is a massive win, because that's the UX that we need going into the future. So thank you, incredible work, awesome job everyone on the Build Club, and thank you both for joining us for Shadow Labs. As I mentioned, if you want a DAO, you want XRP components, definitely get involved, reach out, tag me in the Discord, tag Anthony or Steph. They are both active in the Discord. Steph is literally everywhere, so you won't miss them. So with that said, I want to thank you for coming onto the stream, and let's have a quick wrap up. So we've seen a lot today. We have our Zealy quest that we finalized for our mobile SDK. Really awesome applications coming out of there. Check their repos, give them some feedback, and let us know how it went. So we kicked that off. We also kicked off the VIA Lab sprint. So I am super excited to see what people build with it, what their applications are that come out of it. Share it with us so that we can amplify it. Let us know what you're working on. And now, lastly, the Build Club teams. You know, Build Club has been an awesome experience, I think, for everyone involved, for the community. It's strengthened our relationships. We've gotten really great applications out of it. And as Anthony said, we are really trying to push teams. We don't want to see some MVP, simple prototype. We want you to run a successful business on Midnight. And if that sounds great to you, then reach out to us, apply to the Build Club. We want to talk to you. So thank you, Build Club teams, for participating. And now the final wrap up is our events that are going on. So this morning, we kicked off the Japan Buildathon. We have a channel for that Buildathon. So if you're interested, scan the QR code. You can sign up, get involved. We kicked it off this morning. I did it at about 9 a.m. So everything's brand new, fresh. Teams are being formed, so you can still get involved. And lastly, we are kicking off our MLH Hackathon. So we've done a ton of work with MLH. It's been an amazing opportunity. And we are kicking our next hack off for August on Friday. So tune into the kickoff there. That's another great opportunity for you to compete, get these ideas tested, see how far you can go within 48 hours. I think you'll be surprised that you can get a lot further than you think. And I encourage even the non-technical people, participate, show up. You have amazing expertise that other people need, whether it's in a different vertical, AI, healthcare, or technical expertise with Compact or other programming languages. We need to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. So that is today's Dev Hangout. Apologies for going a little bit over, but there are some absolutely amazing projects building on the network, and I needed to get it out in front of you. So thank you all. I hope everyone has an